Hi everybody, thanks for joining me. Welcome to my channel. My name is Reagan. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe. Hit the notifications bell so you can be notified next time I post a video, okay? I wanted to talk with you today about the physical symptoms of Ascension. And I've experienced all of these myself, and I know other people who have also experienced similar things as well. It is a very individual process, so not everybody is going to experience it the exact same way or with the exact same symptoms. Some of them do differ from time to time, but this is my experience. So I've had some headaches. I've noticed that I have acne as well, and I'll get a lot of headaches like in the frontal area here or in the temporal area of my head. And sometimes they last for a couple of days, and then after that I'll notice that I have like an epiphany or some downloads happening, and so some clarity on some things that I had questions about or that were just kind of compiling over a period of time that I wasn't sure exactly how they fit together. Those things will come through to me. Also digestive problems, like with the digestion. I'll notice that, including food sensitivities as well. I'll notice that sometimes I can't, I'm not able to eat pizza. I love pizza, and it's just a really heavy food. So what I find is that it'll upset my stomach a little bit sometimes, and if it doesn't upset my stomach, then I'll still feel drained the next day. So what I found is that, just a little tip here, what I found for myself is that if I don't eat heavy foods throughout the day, then I can misbehave once with, say, one slice of pizza, and it doesn't adversely affect me the following day. But let's say I have a piece of pizza and then I have a bagel or like a steak, then that really starts to upset my digestive system. So, and I notice it as like fatigue, not going to the bathroom, having bowel movements regularly, and some things like that. So just to keep in mind, a little tip there for you. Also, mood swings and memory loss. Oh my gosh, the mood swings are getting less and less now that I'm doing so well with my Ascension and all of my lessons. But I do notice that my memory is really bad, and this has been something that was kind of leading up to my meeting my twin flame this year that I've already spoken about. So I won't go back over that right now in this video, but in other videos, just check it out. Whenever I encountered my twin flame, everything just kind of got floored into high gear, right? So I had already started experiencing the memory loss a couple of years prior to that, and I thought that it was related to some postpartum things that I had going on, and you know, mommy things, having to go back to work and leave the baby and this and that. So I still experience a lot of memory issues. I think that that's just across the board. That's what I found, is it's just an issue that most people have, because and what I've channeled and what I find the reason for that is that, you know, because we're transitioning from the old paradigm to the new, the whole goal is to ascend. It's to become better. They want us to forget the old stuff so that we can adapt the new stuff. So as we adapt the new things, we don't need to hold those memories. So our memory bank is essentially going to be freed up somewhat, because whenever the whole process is, you know, pretty close to complete, it's never complete, but whenever we get through the brunt of what we have to work on as far as soul lessons, then I've already started to realize and recognize that I'm able to remember more things. So I think that it's just like doing away with the old behaviors and beliefs and coming into the new. So I think that the memory loss, the channeling that I've had, is the memory loss has something to do with letting go and, you know, moving on, not holding on to that old stuff. A lot of tingling in my head. I've had a lot of tingling, and I'll have it in different regions of my head from time to time. Sometimes it's more than others, but I notice that I also get like a tingling around my crown area, or my third eye, or both. in the time that I feel like there's telepathic communication with my twin. So in addition to that tingling, though, I've noticed that there's, and I've looked it up and I've researched it and I've asked for guidance from my guides and to explain it. And what I found is that the tingling in the head is just like a crystallization process, because we're going from the carbon-based bodies over to the crystallized bodies. So I think that's just part of the process. That's how I've channeled it. That's just part of the process for, ascension. So I mentioned the acne. Now, let me just go back to that for a second, because my daughter is also experiencing acne as well. She's having a lot of it down here and here. I've noticed a lot of mine is around this area here. I was getting some like right around this area here by the eyebrows and everything. So, and I never get acne. And hers has been years cleared up. She's almost 19. So she hasn't had acne since she was like 14, 15. And now it's starting up again because she's also having a spiritual awakening. I also had a little bit on my back, which never in my entire life, I'm 38 years old, I've never had any kind of acne on my body at all, like body acne anywhere. I'll usually get like 1 or 2 here and there for my monthly, but like I don't get acne on a regular basis ever in my life. It's just something that I noticed since I've encountered my twin flame, and I'm ascending at such a rapid rate now. That's my experience, that it's just been like here and there and everywhere. Also body aches, they come and go. And I've heard this across the board as well. I know for myself, like I'll experience body aches, and it might be just like a little tingle or a little zap here or there, or it might be like an ache or a muscle pain, or a lot of or a lot of mucus in the nasal passage or inflammation and stuff. I've been getting a lot of that lately because I've been working on the throat chakra. So what I found is that those body aches are part of the ascension, but they can also be mistaken because I'm also an empath. So that means that I pick up other people's emotions and pains and things like that. So if you're someone who does that as well, then, those could be attributed to other people. But if you're alone and you're relaxed and you're meditating, or you've just overall had not such a stressful day, and you start having these little body aches and pains and things like that, then you'll know that they're more about the ascension process. And it could be something that you need to pay attention to. So if it's something in your stomach, maybe it has to do with some foods that you ate. Just pay attention to your body, because our body wants to heal itself. We are not supposed to take medications and all these extra things that we get from the pharmacy or whatever, that we technically, we don't need those. You know what I mean? Our body needs like superfoods and things like that, which I'll do another video on later. But for the most part, pay attention to those body aches as they come and go, and see, if there's any correlation. You might want to write it down, the time, date, and the type of pain and where it was, so that you can kind of keep a little journal about it. Journaling is really important with the ascension process. I'm going to add right now, because in the beginning I wasn't doing it, and now I realize that I really should have been. Luckily, I was able to get in on my dreams before I stopped dreaming very often, but now I just don't dream very often. Anyways, that's another video as well. So I want to talk to you about the void. There's a little bit of an adjustment period here and there. So some days I'll have like really intuitive days, and a lot of downloads and a lot of information comes through. And other days I'll have like dead zones almost, and I feel like I've felt essentially that it's almost like a purgatory. It's like an in-between phase. And so I find those to be like adjustment periods, like, because we have to adjust before we level up, and then we have to adjust to that level, and then we get to level up, and then we adjust, and then we level up again. So that's a continual process throughout this journey. And it's just something that you need to watch out for. Don't freak out. Don't think that you did something wrong, or that your angels and your spirit guides left you or anything like that. They're going to be back. The point is just that it's important for us to recognize that there has to be an adjustment, in order for us to level up. So it's a good sign, actually, if you're having intuitive days and a lot of downloads and then you're not. Okay, so that's just like a little adjustment period. And if you're in a twin flame relationship or separation union, whatever you want to call it, then I've been experiencing a lot of those. And what I find is that people are experiencing a little bit fewer of those if they are not on the twin flame journey. But I think that I've channeled that it's just because it's less noticeable. Your ascension is less noticeable whenever you're not in, whenever you haven't encountered your twin flame. So I've been increasing, ascending at a rapid rate, and so I've noticed a lot more of these things closer together and more often than a lot of people do. Okay, so that's something to look out for as well. We already talked about the integrations and the downloads. So the downloads are information that we needed to have in order to shift our perspective to the new paradigm. So the higher vibration from the lower vibration, the 3D up to the 5D. And integration is just having those downloads given to you, you know, receiving those downloads and then, you know, putting them into action. So sometimes I'll have an epiphany and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been doing that. And so then I'll recognize something that it was a lesson that I finally took and I got it. And I'm like, okay, let's heal this. And I ask for it. I ask for the healing. Okay, I don't know why I'm crying or why I'm upset, but whatever it is, I'll take the lesson and let's integrate it. And so then the download comes and then the integration process. And what I find for my integration process is that whenever I'm integrating something, there's a little bit of a period for each integration. It could be a couple of days, it could be a week or something like that. But basically, it could be even a month. It's the universe giving you the ample opportunity to incorporate what you've learned and apply it in your life. Okay, so that's part of the integration process for me that I've recognized in myself and in others. Also, my menstrual cycle has been just a complete roller coaster. I'm now getting involved with, you know, trying to sync my cycle to the moon cycle and all of this. So that's a little bit of the process. Once I've completed that, then I will post a video on that later. Otherwise, in the meantime, if it's something that you really need for now, there's lots of other people on their YouTube channels. I know there's one lady, Josie Grouse. I like watching her. She's really good. And I'll notice that my periods are heavier and then lighter, and sometimes they'll stop midway and then they'll start again. So there's a lot of fluctuation in the menstrual cycle that I've noticed. Also, the fatigue. I want to go back to the fatigue because what I find is that I get fatigued whenever I don't eat well or whenever I don't keep my vibration high. And that's whenever I tend to be more like in a low vibration, like 3D level. And I'll notice that I get sad or I don't feel as optimistic. So I get doubtful, that sort of thing. So it's really important for you to eat certain foods and regularly and avoid others also regularly. And there's a bunch of supplements too that I've been taking. I've noticed a huge difference in obviously my vibration because I've been more active, right? So I've been riding the bike like 5-10 miles a day. But also whenever I'm doing whenever I channel, I find that I get really tired. So a way to offset that would be to have Reiki or dance or listen to music that causes your vibration to rise. You know, take time for yourself. Make sure that you're doing things that you enjoy, because that's one of the lessons we have to learn is self-love. We have to put ourselves first, because if we're not here in a solid state, then we can't therefore care for someone else very well. So it's always about putting yourself first. But that's all I have for you guys today. There are 14 different signs, symptoms of ascension that you can look for physically. And if you agree with, disagree with, or have anything to add to this list, please do so in the comment section down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up so that other people can get this message. I really appreciate you helping me get my messages out, because this is a divinely guided intuitive message channel, and these messages are channeled often from the divine directly to those who need to hear them. So I thank you all for joining me on my channel in this video, and I hope to see you again in future videos. Peace.